Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Brockelman, and this is my Educational Leadership Introduction presentation. The first couple pictures here are just of our pet dogs. The two on the left here are Jax and Kaya. They've been with us ever since I've been married to my wife, Hannah. And then the one on the right is Miska. That's a new pup we just got this past August for the kids. And they're a handful, but they're a joy to be around. In the middle there, that's my wife Hannah, and we kind of have a opportunity to take a class together here. So we are both in this class, so that'll be kind of fun. And then our three children there, Cashton is on the right, Declan on the left, and Taylor in the middle. I'm 31 years old. I graduated from Norton Community High School, and then I attended Kansas State University, where I got my secondary education degree with a specialty in math, and also my bachelor's in mathematics as well. And now I'm currently working on my master's at Fort Hays State University for building leadership. I've been teaching for 8 years. I've taught junior high and high school math, and I've been coaching wrestling for 13 years as I coached at Manhattan High School when I was attending Kansas State University. I am currently the head wrestling coach for the boys and girls at Great Bend High School. And this past season, that's my pictures. So that's our little Twitter handle. The top right picture is a picture of my heavyweight girl who pinned her girl so that we won the regional championship. And then down below there is the girls' state team. We brought home the second state, the state runner-up finish in the first ever girls' state championship this year. We have a very active family, and we love being outdoors. And I'm a little bit of a DIYer, and I'm very, very competitive. As you can see in that top picture, that's a picture of me and a group of seniors, usually a group of seniors, the first group of seniors that comes to reserve me for the annual Stuco Dodgeball Tournament. That's the team I play on, and usually we're in the top 3 or top 2, mostly because of them, but they like to think that I'm good enough to play with them to help them win a championship, so that's always nice to, that's nice to the kids anyways. And then down below, DIY, that's just kind of a treehouse that we had built. The playset was already built. We just set it in there, and we kind of built a little treehouse for the kids. They absolutely love hanging out in there. And the last thing is I'm very analytical. It takes me not necessarily a long time, but I do think and look at situations and make sure that I respond correctly before opening my mouth, basically. So let's talk about the 3 mindsets first. The 3 most important mindsets for successful principals are that all students can learn, teach collaboration over isolation, and happiness and optimism. I definitely agree with all 3 of these. I worked as a paraprofessional when I was coaching and going to college at Kansas State at Manhattan High School. And so I kind of see some of the differences in some students a little bit differently than some of the other teachers, and as well, and then the teacher and collaboration over isolation. I've definitely seen the benefits of collaboration. We have a PLC hour built into our teaching schedule, and then happiness over optimism. I feel like if you're happy, you're going to perform better if you're enjoying what you're doing. So I definitely agree with these 3 mindsets. The next one is the 5 dispositions found in many successful school leaders. The first one's confidence, risk taker and decisive, sense of humor, empathetically assertive, and a learner. I agree with all these as well, but I do think you have to be careful with a sense of humor. Make sure you're not too sarcastic. And risk taker and decisive as well, I do agree with. You just have to make sure the risks that you're taking, that you do make a firm decision on that, and they're not just a blind risk. And obviously in the profession of teaching and being a principal or superintendent or whatever you work in the school, you obviously have to be a lifelong learner. The 3 practices of successful leaders is focus and prioritizing, examining feedback and data, and emotional intelligence. I agree with all 3 of these. I think the hardest one a lot of times, especially for younger teachers, is examining feedback and data. That's definitely something I struggle with, which we'll talk about here in just a second. The 8 principles of ethical leadership: personal courage, public interest ahead of self, self-control, self-discipline and integrity, task and employee-centeredness, recognizing talents, requiring high ethics from everyone, sensitivity and understanding, and inclusiveness. and I kind of thought it was interesting. I do agree with all these, but I thought it was interesting that they kind of grouped some of these together. It's almost like they were trying to shorten a list of what was really important here. Critiquing myself, as far as mindset goes, I would say my strengths are all students can learn and happiness and optimism. And my weakness is teacher collaboration over isolation. Now, I do agree after being in our PLC hours that collaboration is a great thing, but I still just, I guess that's just kind of the person I am, would rather work in isolation. But I do see the benefits and how much more you can get done with collaboration. For disposition, my strengths are confidence, risk taker, and decisive, sense of humor, and a learner. And my weakness is empathetically assertive. I kind of had a hard time putting that one as a weakness. I definitely see things from all points of view. It's just sometimes I have a hard time necessarily relating why they're feeling that way, because I just don't quite understand sometimes maybe why they're feeling the way they do. It just doesn't quite register sometimes. As far as practice goes, focus on prioritizing emotional intelligence or strengths, and then examining feedback and data would be my weakness. I just think that's my own personal weakness. I just don't do a very good job of examining my own feedback and data for my teaching currently, and I just know I need to get better at that. As far as ethical leadership goes, I said my strengths are personal courage, public interest ahead of self, self-control, self-discipline, and integrity. That was probably my favorite one. Task and employee-centeredness, recognizing talent, requiring high ethics from everyone. And then my weaknesses was sensitivity and understanding and inclusiveness. The sensitivity and understanding kind of go along with the empathetic assertiveness, and the inclusiveness. I try to include everybody. I try to include all the kids when I'm teaching, but sometimes those knuckleheads that don't want to do anything, sometimes if you just let them not do anything, your whole class goes a lot better, and then eventually they start falling in line. So those were my weaknesses and my strengths for ethical leadership. So how does all of this support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult? Well, having all these qualities of a leader that we looked at in this presentation gives students and staff the best opportunity to be successful and helps have high expectations. Here was our standard 2, ethics and professional norms, component 2.1. Standard correlation. This assignment correlates because as a future leader, it will be my responsibility to ensure that my school is working toward the right direction of producing successful future adults and maintaining a healthy staff. And it's relevant because as a future leader in my school, I need to understand what qualities make a successful leader. And looking through these leadership qualities has helped me examine myself so that I can identify weaknesses that I have as a leader so that I can improve on those. And lastly, here are my references. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to getting to know you.